And we're live.
Hello and welcome. Thank you all for coming tonight and joining us. Sean Wander, and this is a very special event, so I want to make sure to, right off the bat, just tell you guys, because I know that we've got, in addition to all the members of our Control Writer community that are in the sales and marketing world and certainly know of our guests this evening, I know there are a number of you that have just recently sort of crossed over from some of the other family of products that the Real Writing and Control Writer marketplace offers, and our guests tonight may be new to you. They may be people that you are not yet familiar with. So for those of you that don't know, we are thrilled to have with us one of our partners in a venture, Mike Filsaime, the one and only, and the incomparable Laura Betterly, the traffic queen. They have been gracious enough to join our community with an exclusive training tonight, and they are here to serve you guys. They're going to be answering whatever questions you have about traffic, about anything that has to do with basically just generating leads to your website, using Facebook traffic, other traffic, just general online entrepreneurship activities designed to create sales. So what we're going to do, the way it's going to work here, we're going to keep it pretty loose and open, because we want to make sure that anyone who wants to has a chance to get their question answered. We're going to start off by just giving Mike and Laura an opportunity to sort of fill us in on what they've been working on recently, which is something very special. And of course, we'll let you guys know how you can get a hold of that if you have not already. I know many of you on this call may have and are looking to build on that even further. But for starters, I'm going to go to Mike first. So Mike, just fill us in a little bit. We're sort of in the last week here. You guys have been in the middle of this incredible launch. The numbers and the engagement has been absolutely stellar. Tell us what the latest is. You guys started off this week. What's going on?
Thank you, Sean. Thanks, Mitch, for having us. When I say we, my partner Andy Jenkins and I, who's not on this hangout with us, we started a company just about last year. We launched a product in July of last year, and since then we've launched a few different products. And after we launched our products, launching products is great, but we wanted to create marketing funnels for our different products. And when we were building our company, we realized that we felt Facebook was the best place to get traffic, and we're going to talk about that on this live hangout, because Google, for many different reasons, has gotten tougher. The click costs have gotten higher. Their terms of service have gotten much tougher. They don't allow much of the direct marketing campaigns that we like in terms of capturing the lead and things like that. They want it to look more organic, almost like a search engine results, and for direct marketing or selling anything online, that doesn't work quite as well. So as you know, Mitch and Sean, you're in my mastermind. Laura Betterly is also in our mastermind. So anytime we started talking about Facebook at our live workshops, Laura would just grab the mic and she would just go, and I quickly realized she was the smartest person in the room, especially when it came to Facebook traffic. So Andy and I met with Laura and said, hey, why don't you start driving traffic for our products? And we had some incredible results. We'll talk about some of them here, but recently, for instance, one of them, Laura had us design an ad that would go in the newsfeed just to capture attention, and then we recorded it in a loop, and I'm choking Andy Jenkins, and it opened up a question: why is Mike so mad at his partner? When you clicked, it said because Andy decided to give away Webinar Jam for $1, and then underneath that it went and gave examples of the terms of it's a $1 trial, and that little campaign, I think Laura can correct me if I'm wrong, but it went on. We spent about $2,400 with the campaign, and it went on to bring in $50,000 worth of results. And the $50,000 came from 60% of the people that waived the $1 trial and just decided to pay in full, and the 40% of the people that didn't pay in full, they took a $1 trial, and we haven't even seen that money come in yet. So there'll be more money coming in, and that's one example of many of the things that Laura's been able to do for us for our different products. So bottom line was, Laura, Andy, myself, we sat down and we said, hey, we think there's an opportunity to go out there and teach a traffic course to people that is focused solely on Facebook and talk about fundamentals. And then once you learn those fundamentals, you can apply it elsewhere to YouTube, Google+, Google AdWords, advertising networks, and different different things like that. And that's where it started. We got along together. Laura was very strong in putting the course together. Andy and I focused on our marketing and the case studies to help her have case studies along with the launch while she created the product. And we focused on the marketing, and we've done well. We'll do 7 figures with this launch, and we've got about 2 days left. We're giving away some great bonuses. We'll talk about all that stuff later, but we definitely want to get into the training, and I'll turn it over to Laura at this point to say hello, and then we'll jump right in with the training and why we feel that we can show people how to get no-fail traffic on demand.
Sounds great. Laura, I pick it right up from there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I'm one of the luckiest people in the world because I get to work with, like, Mike and Andy and a whole bunch of really wonderful people, because I don't just produce products. I actually have an agency, so I have clients in a multitude of different markets. I mean, everything from Forex to to info marketing, to real estate, to even, a Baptist seminary. So you can't really get, you're talking about totally and completely all over the place as far as that goes. But what most people don't realize is that the fundamentals of putting together a really good campaign that converts well is the same. It starts off with something we call success surveillance. And success surveillance is really just reverse engineering what your competitors are doing, and it gives you a jump-off place where you can start. Like, there's a free app called Follow.net, and you can actually look at a competitor's website, and you can see how much they're spending. You can see what their landing pages look like. You can see what their ad copy is. You can see what contextual ads as well as, like, what banner ads they have. So it gives you an idea of what's what. And then Facebook has just given us several really wonderful tools that most people don't even realize that exist. Things like graph search, where you can say people who like Forex also like this, or people who like products that people like Forex like. And you can get into that along with another technology called Audience Insights, which starts to get into demographics and how things that are in common with people who are in a particular group. But here's the thing. Sean, you can answer this. How often are you on Facebook? Are you always logged in, even if you're not on it?
It's always logged in. I like to say it's for ads, but we all know the truth of that. Sometimes it's for a little minute or 2 minute escape.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. If you're logged into Facebook, that means that the Facebook algorithm knows what you're talking about, and it knows where you're going external to Facebook. And Facebook has now also given us the ability to do something which is basically, if you put a piece of code on a page after somebody opts in or buys, right? So you have an offer, you put your offer together, you drive some traffic there. When people do what you expect them to do, that's called a conversion. That conversion happen. What we do is we put a piece of code on the page after the conversion happens. So if they opt in, it's the thank you page. If they buy, it's that page afterwards. And so now Facebook is getting a dossier of everybody who does things. So you can really go to Facebook and just say, hey, just give me people who are buyers.
Yeah, let me dial that. Let me dial that in exactly what that means, because this is very new to Facebook. So a couple of things I want to recap what Laura was saying. So first of all, we're going to go over five things that we go over that we say is for no fail traffic. We call it the 5 fundamentals. We say you need all 5 of these things in order to have success with any type of advertising. Laura went over 2 already. One was success surveillance. The second is getting the perfect click. We're talking about that right now. We're going to jump right back in. The next is the traffic upgrade, and that's knowing how to design a compelling ad, knowing where to put your ads, how to design them for mobile, etc. The fourth would be having a complete funnel. We can go over that a little bit as well. So rather than just sending people directly to a sales page or an offer, you have a complete funnel, and we'll pull up a little diagram about that and share that with you. And then finally is something called retargeting. We call it boomerang advertising. So we're going to cover all 5 on this hangout. But what I wanted to really touch upon, what Laura's saying about Facebook when she was talking about the conversion codes and things like this is just up until recently, Facebook allowed you to advertise two ways. You could advertise based on cost per click. That means every time somebody clicked on your ad, they would charge you. Or you could pay by impression, meaning for every 1,000 impressions, they'll charge you $3 or whatever the case is. They've added a new thing, which has been a term used in advertising for years, but Facebook just got into it. They got into CPA advertising, which means cost per action, or as Laura said, cost per conversion. So basically how this works, Sean, Mitch, and everybody listening, is it works like this. If you're selling a $97 product, you can tell Facebook, I'm willing to pay you $35 every time you make me a sale for $97. And at that point, you're making them your affiliate for $35 a sale. And they'll do their best to find you the buyers. And if they can't, they'll say, Sean, you need to upgrade your bid a little bit more. We couldn't do it for you. And you go to 45, 50, and then they'll find the point where they can send you the traffic. But here's the most beautiful part about what Laura was saying, was in order for them to be able to do that for you, they have to know when you make a sale. So they say, put this little bit of code on your thank you page so we know when you make a sale, so we can charge you the $37 and optimize your ads for you. When Facebook is doing that, they're getting to know who the buyers are and who isn't on Facebook. And as Laura says, as this starts to curate over time, many advertisers are going to be going this way because it's the safest way to advertise. Facebook's going to have a database of buyers and people who aren't buyers. So if you're looking to send them for content, maybe they'll send everybody. When you're looking to send optimized people, Facebook is going to be able to send you the best traffic. And just furthermore on that, what Laura was saying, that there's a great documentary you guys may want to watch if you haven't already, called Terms and Conditions May Apply. In the first 5 minutes of this, you're watching it, you're like, well, I really don't care what Google and Facebook, what's in their terms, because I control what I say on Facebook. And then as you go through the documentary, you realize, no, they know everything that's happening because you're always logged into Google, you're always logged into Facebook, so they know every site you're on. They know when you go to Best Buy, they know what cameras you're looking at, they know when you go to Amazon, and they know when you hit the checkout pages. So we found out that, and we believe that Facebook has over 1,500 data points. Now, if I asked you to come up with how many data points you think there could possibly be on you, you'd probably think it'd be easy to get to 1,500. You'd probably reach 20 and be like, well, I don't know, that's my age, my income, where I live, I mean, what else is there? They know so much about us. And I don't want to scare you, I want to tell you that it actually helps us as advertisers. They know so much about us that the FBI and the CIA basically said, right at a Senate committee, we've shut down all of our intelligence gathering campaigns because when we want to know something, we go to Google and we go to Facebook and we subpoena them and get the information. And this is the truth. So the thing is, Facebook and Google have so much information on us that this is where it fits into the second part. We can get the perfect click. And we were talking with a friend the other day, and what we were talking about where copywriting doesn't matter is if you're Poland Spring or you're Dasani water and you're trying to say, well, my Fiji water has never been touched by hands until it touches my, all that is copy. The perfect click is allowing you to have a bottle of water, and I'll use this to represent a bottle of water, and then be at a marathon where 700 people are running by thirsty at the end of the marathon. They don't care what the water where it comes from. That's the perfect audience. Now, Facebook has given us, and Laura shows us in our course, how you can dial down to find these buyers that want exactly what you have. A year ago, 18 months ago, basically, all you could do is say, I want people that are over 35, male, live in the United States, and they like Ted Nugent on Facebook, and that was about it, and it was more difficult to get Facebook to work. Now, Facebook is working great. And as we said, that's why we're able to do these campaigns where we spend $2,500 and we make $50,000. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Results not typical. These are our campaigns, our products, but we show people exactly what we do in those campaigns. And so I really wanted to touch upon what Laura said because Facebook can help us get those perfect clicks now.
So Mike, right, just working along that idea of the perfect click, it's kind of a good chance to really take a step back, because I think a lot of us that have been into the marketing space for some time now, and certainly know the power of the different advertising channels, the ability to just drill in like that is something that is so powerful. But in a nutshell, for some of us who still may be a little bit more new to this space, and just the advertising that they know is either buying something offline, advertising in a magazine, and they're really just starting to make decisions about where their ad spend is going to go. And I direct this to both Mike and Laura. Why is Facebook, in a nutshell, why is Facebook so powerful? Why is it?
I just spoke a lot, so I'll turn this one over to Laura, because I just spoke for a good 5 minutes.
Right.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, the more popular a platform becomes, of course, the more important it is. I mean, does everybody remember AOL and MySpace and whatnot? Those, they're no longer relevant, But Facebook was pretty smart in how they put it together. And here's the thing. Since Facebook went public, it now has to be accountable to shareholders, and they had to figure out a way to monetize. Not only did they have to figure out a way to monetize their bottom line, they were able to be smart enough to realize that they had all this data. And I'll give you a perfect example. I actually had posted in my status that I was looking for somebody to help me around the house. And my husband also tagged me in a post of somebody who said that they knew of somebody. And within 20 minutes, I started seeing an ad for something called HomeJoy, which basically was an offer for $38 to come to my house.
On your Facebook stream.
Pardon me?
On your Facebook stream.
Yeah, on my Facebook.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, not across another website. In Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty freaky. In one ways, I was like, wow, but that was a great targeting. It was a great ad. It was totally relevant, and I totally bought. So it was an immediate kind of a thing. But there are all sorts of data that Facebook has. But here's the thing. They also, you ever hear about big data? Big data is companies. It's very funny. These are companies that can gather information from your credit card purchases, and with all, they have partnerships with all sorts of different financial institutions and whatnot, and they're able to gather data on you more so than what the government would be allowed to in actual fact. In fact,
in that movie, Laura, that and you saw it too, terms and conditions may apply. These big data companies sharing these 1,500 points of data works like this. During the financial crisis, and people's credit started tightening up, it was found out, and this information wasn't shared, but it was found out when it was investigated. Basically, if you had an American Express card and you went and shopped at Walmart, your American Express card was now declined. You basically lost status to your account, and you called American Express and said, "Hey, I've been with you guys for 7 years. Why did you suddenly shut me down?" Well, just some recent activity based on your credit profile has made you a high risk, and people didn't understand what's happening. But because of these data profiles and data sharing, what was happening is they share enough data, and American Express would look at it and see that, and I'll make this up because I don't know the numbers, of the people that are starting to not pay their bills and charge off, 75% of those people have made purchases at Walmart. And the people that aren't shopping at Walmart are not charging off. Because what's the first thing that starts happening when you're a luxury person shopping at Whole Foods and things start getting tight and one of the people lost their jobs? You start trimming down the bills a little bit and you start going to Walmart and you buy the $17 jeans instead of the $80 Guess jeans. So that type of data sharing is just one example of how much data is out there. And as Laura said, Facebook, one of the highest trafficked websites on the web. They have, I think, 1.2 billion active customers. Just a couple of years ago, The Social Network came out. It was a movie, and it said the tagline was something like, when you make 500 million friends, it's hard, whatever. They only had 500 million just 2 years ago. They're everywhere. You can reach people in South America, New Zealand, Australia, Malaysia, Thailand, any English-speaking country in the world that's targeted for what you want in this global economy. And with this new medium, you're no longer, sitting there out, selling tonic at the back of a wagon traveling the different cities. You could reach people based on their interests. Facebook knows who they are. Even better, in my opinion, than people searching for it would have been back with pay-per-click advertising.
Yeah, and here's the thing. There's a partnership between these big data companies and Facebook. And these big data companies actually do things called profiling. So profiling, they might say something like apple pie moms. That would be a profile. That would be a woman who's in her 30s or 40s who has children but lives in a house and has an income of blah, 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 blah. There's, in fact, we were able to find a definition chart of all of these, and it's in the course. There's 256 pages at like 0.6 font of these profiles that you can use to help figure out what you want to target. And because Facebook has all the data and they've married it all together, you can take data that Facebook gathers and it's married up to email addresses and identities on Facebook. So it gives you, from a direct marketing standpoint, much more ability to hone in on who you want. And there's other things too. There's the ability to take people that you already have access to, their email addresses or their phone numbers, and Facebook will also match those up and create something called an audience with that. And in fact, if you have an audience of people and you know about it, you can say to Facebook, these are my customers. I want more of them, and it'll make something called a similar or a lookalike audience of it. So it'll say, oh, all these people in my audience have these traits in common, and they'll find more of them for you. So when you talk about the opportunity and for me, I get extremely excited about this because it solves a huge problem. Because even with Google AdWords, and we've been certified since 2002 with AdWords, and as Mike very, very appropriately said, their compliance is so tough, it's very hard to get something affordable on it. But still, it's like when Bob is searching for widgets, then your ad shows up. But what about if Bob, we know he's like a widget enthusiast, and he's not exactly looking for widgets, but I can put a widget right in front of him and interrupt him with a really good ad or something that will engage him, then he's a widget buyer, and we don't have to wait for him to find us. We can go out and find him. And I like that.
It's beautiful. Like an example of that is if somebody is buying maybe canteens or duck dynasty duck collars, we can find out that they like that, but hey, that person might also be into camouflage clothing. You might also be into duck hunting guns and all these different things. So you can, back in the day, Sean, Mitch, you remember something called the SRDS?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'll mention that for the people that may not know what it was. Before there was the internet, there was something called direct mail. And where did you get a list? Well, you went to the SRDS and you basically, when somebody filled out a subscription profile for a magazine, they would say, I'm 45, I'm a male, and I want to get Car and Driver, or I want to get Muscle and Fitness, or I want to get Home and Garden, or whatever the case was. And then those people were paying for those magazines. And that was the best you can do, and it was pretty good. You could say, I want people that pay for things that are 45 years old and are interested in sports monthly, or hunting monthly, and then you would do your direct mail offer to them. Today we have even more information. I see a question here before we get to our third part of the 5 fundamentals of no-fail traffic. Mary says, how many people have purchased Traffic Genesis so far? I've just watched the excellent video, thank you. And I'm intrigued by the VIP offer for the San Diego workshop, and when is the date? So I can tell you the date, I can't tell you where it is because we don't want anybody crashing unless they pay, of course. But so I can tell you this, we've sold over 1,000 Traffic Genesis. So far, about about 25% of those people have claimed their ticket, so about half are left. So we have 250 people so far. We're going to be marketing to the other 750 to come to the event. So if your concern was being able to still buy today and make it to the event, I can assure you if you buy over the next few days you'll have the ability to still come to San Diego. I can tell you the dates. It's October 24th through the 26th. Sunday is the 26th. That's my birthday. So who knows what little birthday party we'll have there. And that will be here in San Diego somewhere, and we'll give you the details after you buy. So so far,
I didn't know the dates. I just wrote it down.
log into the members area, Laura. It's all there.
And we'll, as we get towards the end, Mike and Laura will get a chance to explain exactly what the Traffic Genesis program covers, and of course, Mitch and I will also talk about the bonuses that we had added on top, just on top of all the incredible things that are part of the package. We wanted to do something extra special for our community as well, and make sure you got the maximum value. But before, if it's okay, Mike, before you jump into item number 3 on that short list, I want to talk about something that I know that I had always thought very much about, and for those people that have actually been around marketing for some time, when Google AdWords had first started, it was like the Wild West. I mean, people were just making money hand over fist with the opportunities. And so the one thing that I think concerns certain people who have sort of been through the fads, been through the tools that, at one point they're great, and then all of a sudden they dry up, either because the company changes policy, a la Google, or just because something else different and better now comes along that you have to be aware of. So in terms of Facebook and the way Facebook advertising currently works, and of course it's impossible to predict what they're going to do in the future, just can you speak a little bit to the standpoint of how sustainable is this as a real practice, to really ground in pay-per-click advertising through Facebook? Or do you see it as something that there's a very short window that's going to be really gone if we don't take advantage?
Great question. And I don't have a crystal ball. All I can tell you is, as we say in the video, the good times are back. There's a difference between Facebook and Google, okay? Google is a search engine. So what they want to do is they want to have search results that provide information. And they want their advertising on the right side, those little sponsored ads, to replicate the same type of results that you would get if you were looking at results on Google. In other words, if I'm searching for how to, how to know if the paleo diet is good for me, right? If I'm searching for that, Google wants to keep people at Google, and they don't want to lose them to Bing, and they don't want to lose them to Yahoo and everybody they put out of business over the years. So they like the content to be good, but when you click on one of the ads, people don't know the difference between ads and content. And if people start seeing too many things where there's a video saying, hey, if you'd like to know the secrets to paleo, enter your email address, Google frowns upon that because it made the search engine look bad. So there's a difference with Facebook. They don't have that problem, right? They're not promising you that when you come to Facebook, you're going to get information. They know that you're going to Facebook to escape, to share, to talk about things with your friends. And you clearly know that on the side, when you see something, that it's an ad. So it's more like an ad in a magazine that says, come into Macy's and get $100 off on Chanel perfume. So they're allowing a little bit more direct advertising. So here's what I'm going to tell you why I think it's going to last. They're encouraging us, when I say us, our advertisers, to put more terms of service into our privacy policies. In fact, they may shut us down if we don't have enough terms of service in our privacy policy. So they're giving us the verbiage to put in that basically in print says, hey, when you log in with Facebook, or when you land on our website, even off Facebook, we are using technology that allows us to retarget advertising to you at different parts, at different websites when you go to the web, because the government is cracking down right now on Facebook and every company, and as you will see with those documentaries, terms and conditions may apply because of how it's being used. So I would say the biggest advocate right now to slow down such quality advertising is the government. Facebook, they'll make this go as long as they can. They like it, they're making money from it. But here's where I think they're going to win, and I'm not going to get into things like politics and lobbying. the truth is, when I watch Hulu, you know what they say to me? Would you rather watch an ad on the new BMW 6 Series, or would you rather watch an ad on Lemon Pledge? And you know what? If I have a choice in the ads that I'm going to watch, I want them to be more relevant to me. I love the fact that every time I see an ad, it's more relative to me, because I may not want to see ads about softening hands while you do the dishes or whatever, because it's not relative to me. I use a dishwasher. You follow what I mean? So Laura, any comments on that?
Well, I mean, look, the truth of the matter is that you can never put all your eggs in one marketing basket. It's
Correct.
Never smart. Okay, right now, it has been for some time, and I'm in a storm right now. So if you've got
that happened as soon as I drank. I was like, wow,
yeah,
that was
no. I'm in Florida, where there's a very inconsistent electric. So if you lose me, I'll try to get back on. I'm just telling you, I have a UPS, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. Anyway, but here's the thing. Facebook right now is the #1 most relevant place to get business right now, and it will be that way for some time. I think more people will enter the market. Maybe the prices will go up a little bit, but nonetheless, the ROI that we are seeing in all sorts of markets is incredible. With the new tools and the new targeting and whatnot, it's pretty amazing. And I think that we need to make sure that we're representing ourselves well, and we're not making a lousy experience for our potential customers, because we're talking a social medium, and you have to keep that conversation going. But if you apply, everything that Mike and Andy talks about as far as the after the click system and how to build that out, and the stuff that Sean and Mitch teach on how to actually write and put together that stuff, and then all the stuff that I show about how to drive that traffic, I do believe that the good times are here for some time. As far as governmental stuff, I will tell you this. What they talk about is they worry about personal identifying information. So, for example, if you can't retarget people who have been to your site because they have infertility issues, because they worry about if somebody is on your computer and they keep seeing ads because of somebody being impotent or whatnot like that. That would be personally identifying that could embarrass them, right? So that kind of stuff. If somebody's
somebody doing a birth control test or something.
Yeah. So it's really more medical or embarrassing information that you got to worry about. Markets that are pretty tough. Dating's pretty tough. Dating's tough everywhere, because it tends to get a little bit dicey, in a lot of markets. But the truth of the matter is that there's the page of rules is a page of rules. It's not 700 pages of rules, and it's not particularly hard to follow the rules. So what I can say is that I think that this, and you know what? Here's the other thing is, I used to do commercial email, and that's how we used to get business, okay? We used to just send out a lot of email. And then we did Google AdWords, and we did a lot with that. And we did a lot of stuff with search engine optimization, and we did a lot. And we see that these things go in. So the truth of the matter is traffic is, where the traffic comes from will change over time. But I believe that this is absolutely one of the best places to turn on the spigot, and for as long as it lasts. I think it's going to be at least a year or so before it starts to really get funky.
I think maybe more. I think we got a good 3 years. I think Facebook advertising will be around for
forever. It'll be around forever. I think it'll be around forever. But I'm saying, as I'm talking about the cheap, well, it's always going to ROI because it's the way the targeting goes. But
exactly.
Like I said, I don't have a crystal ball, but I have this thing that turns around. We can use that.
That's right. We've got some way to watch the same.
Yeah, I got something to pick,
Bottom line is, it's easy to get traffic right now, and and just and because I'd like to move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
When we teach you the five things, it's about finding out, number one, finding out what your competition is doing. As Laura said, tools like Follow.net allows you to see, oh, look at this guy advertising the paleo niche. This is the ad he used. This is the headline he used. And this is the landing page he used. And this is how much he paid. He's been advertising that ad for 6 months. This other ad he's only been advertising for 2 weeks. I'm just going to model what he's been doing for 6 months and start from there. Then we just spoke about getting the perfect click. Talk maybe just about 2 minutes. The next one's not quite as important, but it's detailed in the course. But it's basically talking about how you can advertise on Facebook. We basically break down the ads that are on the side, promoted post, advertising in the news feed itself. There are ways that you could put videos in there as well. And we talk about what types of ads work and what doesn't. How you can make engaging ads, what pictures work well, what type of borders, what type of sales copy and curiosity will work best. How to advertise in people's streams without pissing them off. So we found out the best part about that, and that's key. So we have a whole section on that, but I think the next important part is basically going over creating a good marketing funnel, and then finally we'll talk about the boomerang ads as well. So bear with me just one quick second. I'm just going to download this process map. Tell Lucius thank you, and we'll see if we can share my screen.
Perfect. Mike, while you're doing that, if you don't mind, Brian, who is just asking, he had already purchased. He's asking if he has to claim his ticket through a specific process.
Yes, he does. We're going to be emailing everybody so that it's a little bit easier for you. Let me just get back to my browser here. But simply, Brian, just log into the members area. And when you log into the members area, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the left side of the navigation, and you'll see something that says claim your ticket to the live Traffic Genesis Live. And then you pay $50 and we refund it to you at the event. And remember, it's a $2,000 ticket, so you come for free. If you did want to bring your spouse or partner, there's an option to pay $200 and get a $1,800 discount for your spouse or partner without having to have them pay full price. Mitch, Sean, I know those things are important for you guys, right? When one of you guys buys a product and you want to go to a live event, you want to bring the partner sometimes, and it's like, well, he's got to buy a ticket. It's like, all right, I'll just go and take notes. So, we're not putting handcuffs around people with that. So, I'm going to share my screen here, and then you guys let me know if you can see this. So, screen share, and let's see. You guys see that?
Yeah, I can see it, Mike. Yep.
Okay. So.
It's a little hard to read, but we can get it.
It's a little hard to read, but that's okay. I'll basically go through everything here on what's going on. So this is a process map, and what that means is, there's a start point and a finish point. But the beautiful part about this is you realize there's no finish point, because that's the nice thing. We continue to advertise to our people. But can you see my mouse as I circle and do things like this?
Yep.
Okay, so basically this is what we're talking about. First, find out what the competitors are doing, so that we have a starting point, right? And now we do our marketing, and in our marketing we're getting that perfect click. We're doing research on finding the perfect customer for us. Now, basically, I'm just gonna shut this off for just a second so I can come back on. How would I do that? Are you guys seeing me?
You're on now.
Now we see you. Yep.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even click anything. Cool.
You just click on the share screen and it just goes off. Yep.
Oh, okay. So here's what most people do wrong with advertising. Laura and I call it "Will you marry me" marketing, and what we mean by that is if you look at any couple, Mitch, you, your wife, and your kids. Sean, you, your wife, and your kids, and you look and you realize that there was a certain point where things went right for you guys, but if you would have blown it early in the beginning, like if you've ever watched the movie Looper with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis, like as soon as you make that one change, the whole future just vanishes, right? So if we could imagine, Sean, when you first met your wife, if you would have walked right up to her and said, "Hey, you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. I would like to have a couple of kids with you, and I want to. Would you marry me?" At that point, what do you think would happen? You'd probably freak her out, right?
Absolutely. She's still freaked out to this day.
Yeah, right. So when you look at a happily married couple, whether they met at a club or at work or at a bar or at the gym or introduction at a party or Thanksgiving or whatever, person didn't walk right up to the person and ask for what we call the macro commitment, and get down on a knee and say, "Will you marry me?" Because there has to be a micro commitment, a series of micro commitments that happen first. And micro commitments are little things like, "Hey, would you do me a favor? Would you pass me the napkin? How was that? How was that hummus? Was it any good?" "Oh, actually, it was pretty good. Yeah, you want to try some?" So you're starting out small and you're building trust before you can get down on one knee and ask for the macro commitment. Marketing is the same way. So the mistake that people make when we say, "Will you marry me?" marketing means that they're getting the click from Facebook and they're going directly to an offer that says, "Hey, buy my stuff," right? And you're bound to fail. I had my personal trainer. I think you guys met him. His name is Trevor. And we're jogging about 6 months ago, and he says, "Hey, man, I had to shut my Facebook advertising off. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm not spending the kind of money you're spending, Mike, but I got to tell you, I've spent about $10 a day, and it's been about 3 months, and it's $1,000. I could have paid my mortgage, and I haven't made a single sale." And I said to him, "So what's the problem?" He goes, "Yeah, Facebook's not working for me." And I said, "Well, they're sending you the traffic, right?" And he says, "Yeah." And that was like an epiphany for me. If everybody on this webinar right now, and Laura, and Sean, and Mitch, and I get 100 people on the street, and I even pick a homeless person, and I bring him up, and I give him $100, and I say, "Go advertise on Facebook." Do you know what we're all going to get in common? We're all going to get $100 worth of advertising from Facebook. So the problem is not Facebook. They'll send you the traffic. The problem is that when people were getting the traffic, they're saying to the customer, "Will you marry me?" too soon. So here's what we did. I'm going to share my screen again and bring that back up. And basically, this is what's called a marketing funnel. So after here, this section where the marketing, that's our click. And what we can do is we can first bring the people over to a landing page or a survey. And I like surveys because they're always about the customer. They're not about you going, "Hey, do you know I'm a New York Times bestseller and blah, 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 and I was the world's strongest man." No, you're saying to the customer that you've targeted as maybe having a sleeping disorder and say, "What is the #1 reason that's keeping you up at night?" I'm a single parent and I spend a lot of time with my kids, or working. I have a lot of stress from work, or I simply can't get to sleep at night no matter what I do, and I don't want to take sleeping pills, or whatever the case is. And now you're opening up something to a customer where on the very next page you can offer them a free guide, right? Now this is going to be a commitment from the customer. So anytime we ask somebody for a commitment, they're always asking in their mind, "Hey, is this worth the exchange of currency?" If we need them to click, that's a micro commitment, a very micro currency. If I need you to enter your name, your email address on a form, that's a little bit of currency. Hey, wait, if I give you my email address, are you going to be that guy that's going to be mailing me and all that stuff? However, if you're going to give me a free video that explains why I'm having a problem sleeping, and a 7-page report that shatters myths about sleeping and how many hours a day is perfect, what foods you should never eat before you go to bed, before you sleep, all that type of stuff, you know what? I think that tips the scales. I'll give you my email address, you give me information. You see, we're not asking for a sale yet. We're giving away free information before we ask for anything other than maybe just the email address. And then over here we have something called the exit pop, meaning if they leave at this point, we're going to capture their email address. Same thing now moves on here. This little arrow moves to this green box right here, if you guys can see that, and that basically says now we can ask for an offer, a nice micro offer to basically build a buyer. And a certain percentage of people are going to opt in, and a certain percentage of those people that opt in are going to buy these $7 to $50 products. And then we can move them to our higher products. A certain percentage of those people are going to buy our $47 to $297 products. And then we have upsells, and then an upsell to the upsell. And if they say no, we offer them a downsell, and we say, how about if we lower the price and take away this bonus? How about you still come to the event, but we don't give you the software, or vice versa? How about we still give you the software, but maybe you don't need the live event, so we'll just give you the videos of the event, and we'll cut the price in half, right? And then after that, you'll notice all these little things have exit pops, and we're offering free videos, you know, to further educate the people. And then when this whole process is all said and done, we have fulfillment. Now we can market to our customers with our other products, with post-sale offers, you know, as you see here. I'll share this this document with you guys, Sean, so that you can get it to everybody as well, okay? And then finally over here, what you see after fulfillment, we bring people to our live webinars or our automated webinars. And that's where you can have products that sell for $497 up to $2,000, $5,000. We know people that have done $10,000 webinars. Now, there's a couple of other things that are going on here. You see that over here, all of these little things are leading out over here to this whole section that's about email marketing. So when we capture the lead here at the exit pop here, or this exit pop here, or this exit pop here, what we're doing is we're segmenting. Even our buyers are being segmented. And we segment our non-buyers and our buyers, and then we can follow up with things. I'm over here now, like payment plans, dollar trials, free trials, light versions, right? So we don't give up right away. If I was able to capture your email address at this point before I made the sale, what it says here is these emails that I'm going to follow up over the next 10 days with 10 different emails should follow up on further endorsing the value proposition, handling common objections, handling frequently asked questions, handling price objections, handling the will it work for me, and offer price solutions and guarantees, right? So now, as you can see, we have a complete system here. That's why we call it no-fail marketing, is that at every single point here, we're capturing a lead and we have an opportunity to further bring the customer through our process. And then after that, you can see here, we segment the list for our buyers, and we can continue to market new products and affiliate products for years to come. So the real key in marketing with Facebook is getting that perfect customer and then capturing their email address. And then we know at what points they leave throughout our funnel, and that's going to bring us to our next segment. But I'm going to come out of this so that we can talk some questions about this, or take questions and comments. And then we're going to talk about this little section here called boomerang advertising, and I'll have Laura explain that in detail. But let me bounce out of this, come back, and you guys see my screen again? You see my face?
Yes, absolutely. You're back. You're good, Mike.
Yeah, cool.
So basically, just to set that up, what Mike has done really so well, and what he's explained is really the entire process of what this all leads to. Because what happens is when you guys are able to actually take that traffic and you're able to really capture it through Facebook or wherever you're using it, there's an entire process that happens behind that. So the traffic is only one stage, but without being able to properly capture those leads in those spots, you're not able to optimize them. And so, Mike, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, let's go ahead and jump into the retargeting. Most of the questions are really starting to be aimed at, I really want to know a little bit more about exactly what the program is and how it all ties in, differences between our Control Writer and Google AdWords and Facebook, what are the differences. So I think we'll save that for when we really break down the program. So let's go ahead and just move. Let me just see one more. Mary, let's see.
And Mitch, if you can shut the admin notice off, that was from the beginning. I don't think it applies anymore.
I think you're probably right. We can just remove sticky there. Be gone. Let's see. Mary is asking, I'm a new entrepreneur and I'm in the learning phase of the business I want to be in. I have no experience with marketing or running a biz, so I am believing that as a novice, Traffic Genesis is easy for me to learn and use to sell my products and maybe my scripts. and I'm guessing Mary is one of our real writing community members. So, and I think we can just, Mary, as I promised, we will make a point to really speak to that as we explain the program. But I want to make sure that we don't shortchange you and the rest of the community out of one of the most vital elements, which is the element of the boomerang advertising. What Mike?
Yeah. So I'll start it because I know we're quick on time, and I'll have Laura comment on it really quickly. So I'll give the big picture, and then Laura can get tactical with it. So basically, retargeting means that we can know when people leave certain parts of our sales funnel, and we can then display ads to those people at different websites across the web. So have you ever seen that you went looking for maybe a digital camera at Best Buy, and all of a sudden everywhere you go you're seeing ads for the Canon EOS on Mashable or Huffington Post or CNN, and you're like, that's interesting. So basically, the advertising companies have done something to allow us to say, hey, if anybody comes to my site and let's say they buy, they take my free report, but they don't buy. They give me a little bit of code, very simple. I just put it onto my website, and then I know if that person buys, we say shut that tracking off and no longer advertise. So we're always going to advertise to people that don't buy. And I could set that to say for 7 days, and then I create an ad, and it basically says something like, hey, did you forget to buy Traffic Genesis, or something like that. The thing is, that doesn't just show up at Facebook. These networks work all together. So it doesn't matter if you're on the front page of CNN, or if you're on the front page of the Huffington Post, or SportsIllustrated.com, or Mashable, or Gizmodo, you name it. My ads are going to show to the people that have been to my site. And what's really important about that is my credibility goes through the roof. If I know that you got my free report, but you didn't buy, I can say, hey, did you enjoy the free report? There's even more information, click here. But if I know that you were on that page that gave away the free report, but I didn't get your email, because remember, I know if you took action or not, then I can have ads that say, hey, I could be holding up an image. You forgot your free report. Click here. So it's very powerful. It's actually the best form of advertising that you can do, and that's why we call it boomerang advertising. It's very much like an email autoresponder that follows people around, except it's advertising on the web, and we could use it at any point in the funnel. Let's say the customer bought, right? Customer was asking about the live event. If I know the customer bought, but I know that they didn't register for the live event, I can now have an ad that says, and I could be with Laura, hey, we're not going to see you in San Diego. Click here to find out why. And then we can make a video and say, hey, we noticed that you still haven't registered for the event. People are going to be like, how do they know that? Well, we know because you bought, but you didn't go through this point of the process yet. We know that you joined our webinar, but you didn't show up yesterday. So I can just have an ad with Laura going, hey, you registered for this webinar, couldn't make it, click here to watch the replay. So these boomerang ads are very, very powerful because being that we know where they were at our site and if they took action or not, we know the exact message to make to them. It's the most powerful form of advertising that really, it's the turbocharger to this process.
I want to add something to that, if that's okay with everybody. It's an asset. When you have a retargeting list, just as if you had an email list, it's an asset. But here's the thing. What's the best open-up rate you've ever gotten on an email, Mike? Like most kick butt, like amazing.
In the last 3 years?
Yeah.
18%, if I'm lucky. My average is 8%.
Okay. So you're saying is 92% of your emails don't get opened up.
That's right. 92% of my emails just don't even get read.
Well, guess what? 100% of my retargeting ads get shown.
Exactly.
Okay, and they didn't even opt in. Mm-hmm. So in actual fact, you don't. I mean, I'm not saying don't collect emails because you should, and I'm not saying not to have that list because you should. But I'm saying is that never before in the history of what we do did just somebody glancing at your page allow me to actually still be able to be in contact with them. It's kind of like if you had a retail store and people walked in and put their heads in and looked, And you actually, just by virtue of doing that, now started dropping images like in front of their face. It's amazing.
Yeah. I think you said it perfectly. The thing is, they don't even have to opt in. We can target anybody that's landed on our website, and we can then follow them around. And so imagine if you're an author or speaker, or some of your people are script writers, and they're targeting maybe even to a producer or something like that, and then the next thing you know, that producer is seeing them on a little ad on the front cover of CNN. That producer's going to be like, wow, this person must be a little bit more important than I thought, because I was just at their website and they're advertising on CNN. So the average person doesn't know that this is retargeting. They think you've got enough of a budget to be spending money to advertise on AOL and CNN.com. So that wraps that up. But
we say it all the time, Mike. It's we get involved in our little rooms and in our communities, and even those of you like Mary, who admittedly is really new to entrepreneurship and marketing. But Mary, when you hang with the right people, you start to get cutting edge information, and so it's going to be tempting for someone like yourself to think, well, you know what, but everybody knows about this stuff, or if I go out and tell people about it, they're probably already doing it, and you're going to find out very quickly that nobody knows what you're talking about. That this is incredible. Hey, Mike, I don't know when the last time you've been on StubHub was, but StubHub, if you don't buy the tickets, they boomerang you. I get a little text message that says, hey, don't forget your tickets to the Styx concert or whatever you were just looking at. Don't forget your Rangers tickets. And I said, yeah, right. But, I mean, the point is, it's everywhere. It's wherever we're shopping. So at this point, because I do see a few more questions, but most of the questions we've seen have really just been, they want a little bit more explanation of exactly what Traffic Genesis is. And I think Mary really had set really a nice early frame for just to explain exactly what it is. I'm going to give Mike an opportunity to explain it in detail, but Catherine had also asked, I want to go back to her because Catherine had said, scroll here.
And stick around, guys, because we've got something exciting to talk to you about, how you can get access to Traffic Genesis today at no cost, at no money, nothing. You can have access to Traffic Genesis for 6 months without having to pay a dime. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah,
Mike will get to that. So basically, Catherine was asking exactly how does Control Writer compare results in dollar-wise to Traffic Genesis? Many writers, particularly Market, I realize, have excellent results with Google AdWords. Tell me what's better. So now, Catherine, I realized you asked this question earlier in the event, and so at this point, hopefully Mike and Laura have done a pretty good job of explaining just some of the power of Facebook advertising. And again, I want to just be clear, nobody is saying that Google AdWords does not have its place. It's very much a part of a lot of marketers' advertising spend and overall budget, but right now we are just in, to my earlier question, when Google AdWords had first started, it was like the wild, wild west because so few people were doing it and maximizing that the traffic was just so cheap, and you were able to just take advantage of it and make huge returns. And we're in that zone right now with Facebook, where you're in some cases paying less than 50 cents, in some cases less than 25 cents, for every lead that is coming to your site, which is just an incredible way to generate targeted traffic. So in answer to the question, I'll jump in after Mike explains everything, just tying it all into Control Writer and what our bonus is for all this. But Mike, go ahead and explain, I think, at this point, really what's going on.
Yeah, I'm just writing you a note. I just sent you the diagram.
Yep, I see that.
So that you can share it with people, and I just want to let you know.
I should probably just mail this one out, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't share it here, can we? I don't think we can.
We'll send it out as a.
You'll get it out. Well, unless you can take a Jing of it and just share a Jing, a screenshot of it, So let me come back to the Hangout. Also, guys, just
whoever attended, we'll just send it out as an attachment.
Okay. Yeah. So and you saw my link there. That's the reason why I gave you guys that link is our current video makes people wait, till they see the 40-minute video to buy. Your customers are going to want to buy quickly, so just make sure that your bonus page links directly to there so they can see the order page for anybody that wants to get access. All right, so here's the deal. Traffic Genesis is a video home study course. It's composed of these five 5 fundamental laws of the traffic universe that creates no-fail traffic on demand. Laura goes through and she breaks down videos on the success surveillance, or basically, as we say, how to spy on the competition, which is what's working right now so you know where to start. Next is she goes down to show you, you're watching her on screen build campaigns to show you exactly how you can find the exact type of buyers that your ads can show in front of, where you can spend. And what we tell people is, hey, when you do your test, spend $25. You'll know if you have a winning campaign with $25 because you can buy clicks at 10, 15, 30 cents a click. You're going to get a lot of clicks. Now the thing is, if your campaign wins, well then you can ramp that campaign up to $250 for that week or whatever in your budget, and then you can keep ramping it up from there. So that's the second part of the system. Then she teaches you everything about advertising on Facebook, where your ads should be and how they should be. We break down more in detail, obviously, how to build those funnels, and incredible case studies, and teaching you how to do these boomerang advertising. You put all that together, focus that with creating the proper landing pages. We show you how to do all that for anything that any offer you want to make, even if you want to sell products for other people that already have these marketing funnels. So think about becoming an affiliate. If you were to do what we did and Laura did for Webinar Jam and spend $2,500 to make $50,000, well, we pay about 50% commission. So Laura, if you were an affiliate, right, you could have done that advertising. You should fire us as clients and just go market our products as affiliates, right? You could have spent that $2,500 and made $20,000 in profit.
Believe me, I thought of it, Mike. Okay.
So that's what else you could learn from Traffic Genesis. If you don't have the products and have the funnels, you find people like us that already do, and you simply find the perfect click and send them into the funnel and let that person make the sale, and that person will send you a commission. So that's another exciting thing about it. You don't even need a product. On top of that, real quick, just getting to our bonuses, we're doing a live event in October, 3 days. Going to have some really cool people, great networking here in sunny San Diego, October 24th, 25th, and 26th of this year. We have an ad creation software that I wish I had time to demo for you, but essentially, I'm just going to lock it on me there for a second. Essentially, the ad creation software is the software that we've got licensed that allows you to go in and pull up any image, zoom it, crop it, tilt it, all these different things, add overlays, make the border red, add all these different things, and export it out so that you can design ads that are designed for Facebook. Facebook, you upload an ad, it says improper dimensions. No, it needs to be 400 pixels. And you're like, I don't know how to do that. I just want to upload an image. So then you say, optimize it for me. And you've ever seen like your face go like this because it squishes the image to get forced because people don't know how to optimize it? Well, this software does that automatically for you. It simply changes everything to the exact dimensions if you want it to be a sidebar ad, the new sidebar ad sizes, news feeds, you name it. It's perfect. That sells for $297. We're giving that free. The event is $2,000. We're giving that free. We're doing 8 weeks of live coaching every week. Myself, Laura, and Andy are going to get on and coach you. And then after that, we coach you once a month for a full year on your questions and all the latest changes with Facebook. A year of coaching included with everything else. The price, $997. Now, if you pay in full, you get a VIP access at our event. You go to the VIP cocktail party. Here's the cool thing. We partnered with PayPal, and there's an option on the order page called Bill Me Later. If you've ever been to a store like a furniture store or Sears or Macy's and you're buying a plasma TV or something, and they say, hey, would you like to sign up for a card? And you could take all this furniture home today, and you pay no payments today, no payments, 0 interest for 6 months, and no payments for 6 months. Well, PayPal has that same option. We show you how to do that on the order page. That means if you want to get started today, there are no payments and 0 interest for 6 months as long as you pay it off within 6 months. All right, so you can get started. We give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. Now that Bill Me Later option is only for U.S. residents. That's PayPal's rules, not ours. And, of course, you must qualify. So when you go there, they already know your address because it's PayPal, or you create an account, and you simply add your Social Security, date of birth. You get instant answer. They'll approve you up to $10,000. You don't need all that for this. They might only approve you for $600. So then you use your other $400 to pay for it. And finally, we have an option for people that want to finance it. Maybe they don't qualify or they're outside the U.S. And it's 6 payments of $199. You can get started for just $199 today. And of course, there's a 30-day, no risk, money-back guarantee. And not to sound like an infomercial, but we put the risk on us. Try it out for 30 days. If it's not for you, then you can still keep the software and come to the live event as our gift just for trying it out. I know that sounded like an infomercial. I can't help myself sometimes. That's Traffic Genesis. We'd love you to join it, and I'll turn it over to Mitch and Sean to talk about their bonus.
Yeah. So on top of that, and again, Mike, I just want to thank you and Laura again for taking time out in the middle of this crazy launch to be here, spend some time with our community. I know that everybody who follows you closely, and even for the new ones who are just being
like my bat shirt.
Yes, Brian the bat icon gets all the credit all the time.
See what I got?
Thank you, Brian. Yes.
What?
Oh, this is my it's the I've slapped Andy Jenkins and lived mouse pad.
That's it. I want to buy that.
I also have a couple of T-shirts and I even got it on a book.
I tell you what, Sean, anybody that buys today, one additional bonus, Laura will give you these slides, and we'll give you a credit at Cafe Press to get the mouse pad or the shirts as a gift.
Very cool. So
you got a better bonus than anything we've spoken about yet.
Well, I don't want to say that because I don't want to diminish the power of the program. I think there's a couple points I want to hit on, everyone, and first and foremost, especially for our community, we've got a number obviously in the sales, marketing, and presenting world, but there are a lot of people who are coming from the film industry and who are really just getting some exposure. And without giving you the long version of the story, Mike and Laura, what happened recently is we basically with all of our new releases and everything that had been going on, we just invited some members of our community to voluntarily just let us know, hey, if you're interested in things besides the film community and the film world, like sales and marketing, if you have products to sell, or if you are just looking to basically build an income for yourself, we want you to have the option to know about what else we have going on, because Control Writer is a varied brand. And so, long story short, we had a number of people who took us up on that and started attending some of the trainings that we made open to the public. What happened is a lot of people who are screenwriters who are in the film industry started to really see the value of looking at the process with which they sell or market their scripts to agents, producers, and potential buyers in a whole different way. They understood the power that, when I look at this from a marketing standpoint and understand that I have to really understand who it is that I'm trying to capture with the process of even selling a script, as opposed to just sending query letters or entering contests arbitrarily without any real thought. And so what we wanted to do here, and what Mike pointed out is critical, that even for people that don't have a product or have really no interest in creating a product or service for themselves to sell or market as a company, what understanding how to do traffic properly gives you is it gives you the ability to just wake up in any given day and say, you know something, I think I'd like to try to make a few $100 today. I've got the perfect ad in mind. And it could be an offer like Mike's. It can be an offer that's a $7 offer. It can be a $50 offer. The point is you get the process step by step in hand so that you can actually walk through what it takes to literally set up the ad and drive traffic. Now, for those of you that are obviously part of our community and know what it is that Mitch and I do, we have a number of people who have been either who are active users or who were interested in our offer and conversion control product, which right after this we will be launching even more aggressively on a wider level. And so what we wanted to do for everybody that is taking part in the Traffic Genesis launch, we wanted to basically take any excuse for people who had been on the fence completely out of the equation. So for anybody that's actually buying Traffic Genesis through us here today or anytime throughout this launch using our link, any Control Writer software product that you don't own, you will get. So that includes the presentation control, the offer and conversion control, and even the entire reel writing family of products in the film and television brand. So you'll get the mega course training, you'll get literally just a number of step-by-step videos, and again, the value of the bonus that we've been giving out, and you may have seen some emails about this, is well over $6,000, but we did one more thing that really put things over the top. And all of this is great, and it's wonderful to have all the videos and trainings that you'll be able to go back to, but what Mitch and I have also done for anybody who purchases is giving you an hour of our time. The single most valuable thing Mitch and I have to offer you is us. It's an hour of our time, one-on-one private consulting, or two-on-one in this case, to really just use that time however you like. So if you've been working with the OCC software and you want to review your campaign in detail with us to make sure you're getting it right, you can do that during that hour. If you want to talk in detail about traffic or working on your funnel or anything that has to do with strategic marketing, we can help you during that hour. But most importantly, we wanted to really just let our community know that we are, for those of you that have been with us for a number of years, and there are many of you that are in this position, you know that we have not aggressively marketed a lot of different offers of this kind. Mike is a very special partner. Laura is a very special partner. I've known them both for years. And believe they are of the highest character and the highest integrity. And so for all the different types of things that we could have brought to you, we understand that understanding how to take what we teach, which is really building that perfect offer, which you all know Mike helps us with that and is a big part of that as well, and adding to that the power to generate traffic to really, really monetize what it is that you're bringing to the marketplace, whether it's your product or service or somebody else's. That particular 1-2 punch is pretty much unstoppable. So again, Mike, the cart, I believe, closes on Wednesday. Is that correct?
Yes.
Wednesday?
Yep, Wednesday at midnight.
Afternoon.
And then all those bonuses go away. It's a grand opening. It all the event, the software, the coaching, all that stuff goes away. We may close it down for a while, and we may come back at a higher price at $19.97. So the grand opening guarantees all those things plus your bonus as well.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to show something because one of the things we talk about, Sean, I'm going to chime in for a few minutes, is we talk about the congruency in the offer. We just did the training this past week on it. That from the moment someone has any exposure to an advertisement of yours, you want the complete congruency all the way through, from whatever is you could use as the initial interest, the point of interest, to ultimately the product. There should be a path of congruency. So I'm going to share my screen for a moment because I just wanted to. This is the first time I took a good look at their marketing diagram. I just wanted to show the congruency between our software that we're giving as a bonus and the program of Traffic Genesis, and just how much you would benefit to have their program and have our software to work with it. And our software, of course, being the bonus. So this is their diagram. Let's just make the diagram bigger, and you can see right here they've got the marketing stuff. But here you notice the landing page, survey, opt-in, lead capture. And if we go to our software here, we've got the lead generation, which is now a breakdown of what you need to think about in that exact process. Is your frame, your headline, your hook, your point of intrigue, your visual element. Sorry here. I apologize. I lost my place.
Did it lock up on you?
No, it's fine. It's all's good. And just moving through the conversion point of getting the click, getting them to fill out the survey, the headline, the hook, the visual element, stating proposition, and a second point, getting the opt-in. So there's two different levels of that lead generation to the point where you get the opt-in. Moving down their diagram here, you've got the micro offer. A smaller offer to just a quick sale. And if we go over to transaction, you'll see we've got it broken out into quick sale, and that's the frame and the detailed elements of your quick sale that you need to think about on that page that you're going to be marketing on, and that's congruent right there with their quick sale.
Right, and Mitch, again, sorry, forgive me for interrupting, but because again, I just to avoid any confusion, because there were some notes or some other messages. I just want to emphasize that most of the time, you're used to us talking specifically about Control Writer products in the way Mitch is breaking it down. I just want to remind everybody that if you're purchasing and investing in Traffic Genesis, you're going to get all of this that Mitch is showing you. It is part of the bonus. There's no additional cost. You won't have to buy offering conversion control or presentation control or anything else again, because you're getting all of that as an additional bonus just as part of the Traffic Genesis offer here.
Right, that's what I was trying to get to, yeah.
It's a great software. You guys know I had a little bit of input in developing that with you. It's based on creating offers the way we do in our business, and we got a compliment to our sales video, and they said, great video, makes me want to buy. It uses the offer conversion control format. So you guys are getting the perfect package. The way you get access to this, guys, right underneath where it, above the chat, it says admin notice. There's a link. You can click on that, and you won't lose the Hangout. That's going to go to that's going to redirect you to trafficgenesis.com, and you can see there's a little ID in the link that tracks the sale to the Control Writer guys, Sean and Mitch, so that they can fulfill the bonus for you. The other cool thing, the other thing we want to let you know is that when you get to that page, the video will play, and it does take a little while for the order form to show. So the video is about 20 minutes long, so you may have, depending on one of our split tests, some of them go at 5 minutes, some of them go at 10, some of them go at 20. We're seeing how much delaying the, we like to make sure people know exactly what they're buying before it goes. So we do apologize that you might have to wait up to 20 minutes to be able to fill out your credit card, but in the meantime, we think that's a good thing because you get to watch the entire video and see exactly what's in Traffic Genesis. So you're getting the bonuses from Sean and Mitch. We respect your time. We know that you're going to be another 20 minutes watching the video that completely explains Traffic Genesis when you click that link. So we'll let you guys wrap up unless Mitch, Sean, or Laura Betterly have anything left to say. Sorry, my air conditioning just clicked on, so I'm going to go shut that off and mute myself.
I think we have it. For those of you that are part of the community, we do have, we're sort of breaking for the holiday weekend, but we will be picking up with more aggressive trainings next week, so be on the lookout for some emails announcing next week's training. But I just want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Again, in the email, there was no guarantee that there was going to be a replay. In all likelihood, certainly for the people that attended, you'll have access. We will try to get a replay out for anyone that might have missed it either tomorrow or Wednesday for sure. But I don't have anything else. Laura, anything else you want to add on your end? It's been amazing having you here.
I so appreciate you having us on. I mean, you guys are not only friends, but you feel like family. So it looks like we've got more family coming on.
Family, more family.
Yeah, I put a big skull and crossbones on my door. Don't know if it'll work or not.
Hey, look at that.
That's right. Mitch needs 7 tickets to one of the live events.
Okay.
Wow.
So anyway, I put a quick chat for you to ask questions. But Laura, thank you so much. Give our best to Steve. Big hug.
Right. Thanks.
Thank
Mike,
you, everyone,
last word.
for joining. We'll ask you one more time, because once we close this Hangout, that link's going to go away. So if you are in another window or in Skype or stepped away for a minute, get back to your computer real quick and click that link right there where in the admin notice that says dealguardian.com that ends with Control Writer, because when we close, that link will go away and then you won't be able to get this bonus. So even if you're not sure if you're going to buy it, click it now anyway. Let it open in a new tab. That video will give you all the information you need to find out if it's right for you. So click that link. We want to give you all the time to do that before we said goodbye and close this webinar.
Absolutely.
Jam session, webinar jam.
Jam session, webinar, all the good stuff. Anyway,
Thanks,
guys, thank you so much. Mike, thank you again. And
Love you guys.
everyone, we will see you on the next training. Thanks. For being here.
Bye-bye, everyone.